welcome to Reactive Reload, a radio show you're always on time for. I'm just one of your hosts, Irish Cowboy, joined by your other host, Crossover. We are going to be reloading the gaming entertainment news for the last week or so and reacting to it. I know. We'll be touching on the Cold War Alpha and what Treyarch is doing right. Cross is so happy he got an Xbox Series X, he decided to go play in traffic, and why I would rather make love to a Chinese finger trap than pre-order another next-gen console. Yeah. Uncharted is a PlayStation exclusive as well. Horizon is a PlayStation exclusive.
Shadow of Colossus.
Oh yeah,
that was a good game.
I never got to check that one out. I still haven't checked out God of War. I need to check it out. Is it really earth-shattering, like everyone says it is?
Yeah, God of War was really good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
good story, just fun. I heard like all the ones before this one were really good too. Probably better.
Oh, I guess
this one was good.
They did kind of surprise me when it surprised everybody a few E3s ago when they announced it. Like I was like, whoa, this is like, because you see all the other God of War games before. I haven't played them, but I've seen lots of gameplay footage of them. It looked entirely different. I mean, this was like God of War.
It looked like they used a new engine.
Yeah. Bungie's basically doing that. They're upgrading their engine for Beyond Light. Thank God. It's not like a new engine, but they're just making it better. And I hate the D2 engine. It's just so bad. Like Destiny 1 felt so much better. I'm not just saying that with like rose-colored glasses. And like it really did. Like the way the bullets hit people, the way the guns felt, like it didn't feel like hit scan. You know what I mean? It felt like natural. You could see this stuff, even though in some ways it is. But it's not. It's definitely not like a Battlefield with the bullet drop off or anything like that. Speaking of Battlefield, man, but not speaking of Battlefield, if you know what I mean, I got a chance to play Call of Duty Cold War Alpha. I shared a video on Twitter. Went off, man. That was great. I had so much fun playing that. It felt really good.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How did it feel?
It felt so good. Like if you get a chance to check out my clip from I had like a winning play or whatever in one of these game types. It was great. But when I went to Twitter and was looking up what people are saying while I was waiting for the game to load, my PS4 was like a jet engine playing that thing. Not even kidding. I made video of that too. But people are like, yeah, we intentionally buffed the snipers for the alpha only for this alpha weekend's alpha. And I was like, oh, okay. So they like gave them the snipers steroids. I don't know if it was like aim assist or more damage or a bit of both, but things you can do with snipers in this game, you can semi-auto snipers are amazing. I got banned from Battlefield 3 for using the EBR or the EMR, whatever it was called. But it was, I literally got banned from a lobby for using that. It was so much fun. It was so good. It wasn't even on game mode either. I was still wrecking with it. But the game felt crispy as hell. It felt really good. There's a lot of good angles to snipe from. There is a sweet spot like we had. You remember with the Henry in Battlefield 1?
Yes. Yeah, they had to nerf into the ground because it was stupid.
Oh, yeah. Well,
because it was the only gun that could kill with a reasonable
right
at the beginning. So they had to nerf it into the ground to make sure that no gun would kill with a reasonable time.
You could one shot with that sweet spot. What was it, like right below the neck, like the upper the shoulder, collarbone, so that type of area?
Yeah, it was like upper chest up, right? Yeah. So upper chest to head area.
That's what we were seeing in Cold War, and the guns, the ARs, felt really good, like the MX something like, I can't remember what it was called, but that was really good. There was the Police TAT-1 SMG sidearm you can use in that game. That one just destroyed it. It was so good that people were complaining about it. But you could basically see people kill you without even aiming on you. Like the assist and bullet sway was weird, but there is something that they did that is new. So in games, whenever you're getting shot at, recoil's a bitch, right? But like getting flinched and everything like that, it's terrible. But in games like Destiny, podcast is Reactive Reload. It is what it is. I'm gonna bring up Destiny. It big part of my life. But in Destiny, if you were using a sniper and you got like shot by like pulse rifle, especially, that was the best. You could use the recoil to your advantage to flinch while you're getting shot, and you could basically get like an instant headshot. Which, if they're going to go with flinch, you might as well use it to your advantage. I have so many clips of me sniping people, and I would have missed a shot if I wasn't getting shot at. You know what I mean? Like you could just fire and bam, as soon as your rifle just flinches up, you know exactly when it's going to happen. And No Land Beyond was like an old school sniper back in Destiny 1, and they were that one was infamous for that kind of deal. But Treyarch, they're doing something different now, and they're not going to give people that kind of like aim assist when you're getting flinched. So there's not going to be anything like that going on. Yeah, basically, when you take damage, you're just going to see your health go down, and the screen's going to shake, and you're not going to be able to really get a shot in while it's happening. So that's kind of it's kind of cool what they're doing. New technology. I like kind of seeing it. It is fair, and people did take advantage of flinch shots. But overall, the game really felt good, and I'm really thinking about getting it.
How is the map design? Because one of the things that I've always loved about Treyarch is their map design. They've always done a very, very good job with that. They kind of have like a three-way system. Sometimes they'll add a fourth way, but it's always center, left, or right. And then sometimes they'll add like some underground or over top high ground type stuff to kind of mix it up from time to time. But I really love the 6v6 with those three angles, because it gives you a lot of kind of room to maneuver around.
There is something I noticed in the map that I played. I can't remember what it was called. It was one of the smaller maps. It was in like a city area, and these maps look really great. It wasn't Miami. It wasn't like that Florida location or whatever it was. It was different.
So you mean that there wasn't a meth head beating up an alligator?
Unfortunately, I didn't see anything like that. It was a very grim, cold looking place.
Florida, man, the crazy son of a bitch.
I do gotta say though, like that map thing you were talking about, like it was definitely there. There was a spot in the middle. So there's like, it's like a basement floor, but there's like a little tiny thin window that you can slide in to get in there. Close to one of the spawns. It's actually in the middle of the map, so you can actually, for campers who like doing that, you could stay in this like little office area, but as long as you watch this tiny little window, like most basements have, that people could slide through, you're golden, and no one would even, if you ran by it, you wouldn't even know that was there unless you were like looking for it. There's a aspect of what Treyarch is doing in these maps that just looks too, how do I say, it's really nice. It's really nice to see them like thinking about like the middle of the map, the way it's hard. I really want to describe this well, but I don't think I can. I just think that people need to go play this when the beta comes out, because it's really fun, and it's the first Call of Duty I've actually enjoyed playing in a very long time. It felt like Modern Warfare 2 on some of these maps. Like there's one map where it's a tiny map, and it's like you're in the desert and there's a crash plane or something, and wreckage is basically like your only kind of cover. One side gets really screwed on spawns, even though they both look almost the same. But one side really does get screwed over.
So how was the time to kill? Was it quick?
Okay, so this is something I was also going to bring up. I have my notes here. The time to kill is not like the usual Call of Duties. It's actually a little bit longer. And that's also another reason I enjoyed it.
So it's probably more similar than to Black Ops 4, which I actually don't like in a Call of Duty game, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Especially when you have snipers and shotguns that can untap you from the chest up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very balanced, and it drives me crazy because I have to run around with an AR and shoot you 5 or 6 times, and you just pop me once in center mass and I'm dead. Right. I really, really hate that. I think that if you're going to do that, you have to go the Halo route, where only a headshot will one tap somebody. Yeah, well, I think they're taking care of things like that, what you're talking about, like what I was saying with like the sniper aim and the whole like flinch shot thing. They're basically making the time to kill like Battlefield 1. This game really does feel a lot like Battlefield 1. I'm not even kidding. From the snipers, from like the close range weapons, like that's what it really does feel like that. Like I'm not the biggest Call of Duty expert, so I wouldn't know, but this is like there's a lot of examples I was thinking of from Battlefield 1 and Cold War. But when you have a time to kill like that, what Treyarch is doing is they're addressing like the problems that come after that, like what you were saying with shotguns and snipers. Yeah, just as long as they actually address those problems.
Yeah,
because they went the entire cycle of Black Ops 4 without addressing problems.
Seeing them say that they're hearing all the complaints about some of the SMGs and the snipers in the game, and communicating with people that they intentionally buffed snipers to make them like outrageous for the alpha, just to see how what people could do, so they could tone it down. That really that makes me feel good, and I like that they're actually communicating with people about that.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of game companies would just buff the hell out of it and then not tell anybody, and you're just stuck there going, "Wow, I really hope snipers aren't this bad."
Yep. I can imagine. I was actually the opposite. I was like, "Oh man, this sniper feels great." So I went to go search up snipers on Twitter and click latest to see what people were saying, and I found out. I'm like, "Oh, I see."
That's why they were so crazy.
Yep.
So I guess the big topic of conversation, you and I were one of the lucky ones finally.
Oh, God.
There was a lot of anxiety, but the totally botched, as it seems all large launches these days are, Xbox pre-orders have happened since we last talked.
Yep.
How about, because man, I have one hell of a story from that day. So how about you go first?
Yeah, I intentionally wanted to start us off on a subject different than from the pre-orders on purpose, and I'm glad we at least got to talk about something instead of starting the show like, oh my God, did you hear what happened with the pre-orders?
It was intense.
It was awful and not fun. I felt like I was taking on a boss, like in a game, when I was clicking over and over and over again. This happened for like over 4 hours, and that's like, a long time. Most people said 3 hours to like 2 hours. There were literally people complaining about it taking a half hour to do it, to get an order in. And I actually recorded 43 minutes of myself trying to get an Xbox Series X on pre-order.
Some people didn't get theirs until like, you and I are both Eastern time, right? I think you're Eastern time as well. Some people were going, oh, look, I finally got one. And it was like 6 o'clock.
Yep.
They got it from, I think Best Buy was the only one that still had inventory by that late.
Dude, they were Best Buy was the fucking monkey wrench that started it off. Like it seriously, it was a monkey wrench that like saw this beautiful like row of dominoes going down the track, and then it just like dove right in and said, no bro, fuck all you guys, I'm doing this how I want to do this. When pre-orders first opened up, I was ready. I could not have been more prepared. I had Target, I had Walmart, I had Best Buy up, I had what was the other one? GameStop. GameStop was a joke when they would put you in a queue, in a line, and then
after the queue, it was gone.
Trolls, man, dude. Best Buy and GameStop were talking to each other. It's like, how can we fuck this up for everyone the most efficient way possible? Best Buy, how about you guys just not open your pre-orders up for 45 minutes? And GameStop, how about you guys put everyone in an imaginary line and then kick everyone out of, right when they're about to get their Series X. And so Best Buy waited a long time. So a lot of people started off on Best Buy. I started off on Microsoft thinking I was going to get the upper hand because the popular ones would be Walmart, Best Buy, maybe Target. GameStop would be really popular. Walmart right away sold out very quickly. There was someone who
in a minute.
Jesus Christ! So that was also the time that in South Korea, I think it was South Korea, the Xbox Series X sold out in about the same amount of time there.
Well, it definitely wasn't North Korea.
Definitely not. Definitely not. And Walmart, you could tell that Walmart was also prepared to handle the load, from Canada and the United States. Like their websites didn't have too much of an issue. They had issues, but not as big of an issue as like Best Buy, GameStop, and Microsoft's website. Like I got it in my cart on Microsoft's website, thinking, all right, I'm going to get some cool points here. I was really quick, and they made you go through a weird step, so I added it to the cart at Microsoft, and then I had to add like a 2-year thing or a warranty on top of it. I was like, all right, it's a little bit cheaper than Best Buy's, I'll get this. And then as soon as I clicked enter, that's when all the problems started. Everything was slowing down, and then it was checking out, and I kept getting the loading sign. and then nothing. And then finally, I didn't want to. It took me about an hour to accept the fact that I was not getting it, going to be getting it from Microsoft. So I went over to Best Buy, and by then they had just now started opening up. So when I added it to cart, I kept clicking the warranty, and I kept clicking over and over and over again. And you get to most people know this story because most people who were getting a Series X had to deal with it. Even people trying to get the Series S were dealing with that. That thing sold out pretty quick too. Which isn't too surprising because it's a hell of a deal. But man, it took me probably. I mean, we were talking about the people who got theirs around 6 o'clock. I wasn't too far away, to be honest.
No, you were not. In fact, I had already gotten mine before you. It was really hard because I didn't want to I was so excited, but I
were a champ.
I didn't want to be a dick because I was really excited, and when I heard that you hadn't got it, my next move was okay, how can we figure out how to get you one? So I just changed my Best Buy store to some random store in Indianapolis.
I appreciate the hell out of that.
And I got as far as the checkout, but I couldn't get any further. They wouldn't let me go any further.
See, I had gotten to the checkout twice. One time I got in there, and so I was watching Rich from Review Tech USA, and someone in his chat said that if you save the order for later and then come back after they're sold out, it would still go through on Best Buy, and it's a foolproof method. And that's apparently the strat for that we should keep in mind. Just that, and I was actually thinking about saving the thing for later and then just coming back. But literally every time they told you to wait a few minutes, I did, and you can see me on the recording waiting. But I was hitting F5 for the refresh, and then I was hitting submit the order, check out or whatever, and that's where people were having issues. But why would they do that? Why would they say do the hide? Okay, we hear you that you want to put this in your cart, but get good. It's a high demand item. Why would they even let you pre-order if they're not going to let you put it in the cart? Makes absolutely no sense. But that's what people were going through over and over and over again. And some people were like, I got through. It's okay, so every time I clicked was the wrong time, right? So finally, my wife is just like, do you want me to try again? And whips out her old, really old phone, her really old Samsung phone. She just likes the simple things. It works, whatever. It's got a browser on it. She said, check your email. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was literally not even expecting that. I thought she was about to send me some a meme or some funny video or something.
Yeah. What if she would have rickrolled you? What would you have done?
Oh my God.
Just went to
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
Can we rule out murder? Or,
yes. Without.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that far.
Maybe. Yes. I mean. Yikes.
But yeah. So you had a really rough go of it.
It was.
Sure.
It was to the point where I wanted to get on and record and talk about it. But at the same time, I was not ready to talk about it for 3 days, to be honest. It was not a pleasant experience. And I'm really happy that she was able to get that, and it was surprising at that. But at the same time, I was like, it should not have been this difficult. We were early, bro. We were early. We were there. The night before, I made a couple updates and was letting people know, hey, Xbox's website has gone down 3 different times on the pre-order page for the Series X and the S. So people were testing their website over and over again last night. The people were still checking just to see. Thousands of people were. But in the end, we lost because of the bots. We lost to robots, but we got one, but most people didn't. Because I think 2 days ago, if you were to type Xbox Series X on eBay, you would get 4,625 eBay listings for the Series X, all marked up, 700 up. Most of them were $1,300, $1,200. And some people were buying these things. And I wish I had the name ready of the site that did this. It was I don't know. I'll find it. But there was a popular thing that people were using. And I also kind of think the bots were buying that up when the One X sales went up 747%. I'm sure there were a lot of people confused who bought the One X, but I have a feeling the bots kind of messed up there too, because 747%, that's pretty high. It's funny, but it's high. It's Microsoft has been terrible at naming, just awful. The Xbox One X and then you go to the Xbox Series X. Yeah,
it's just been bad when it comes to the names. I don't get why they don't just stick with the name that they have for the projects.
Strategy, they're going to be releasing a bunch of different forms of these Series X's, and that's why like it just changed. I think this is the last time we're going to see like a big name change for them. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I really think it's all about. So they're calling it Series X, so they can release a bunch of other consoles or devices under that whole Series X kind of deal.
Yeah, but like I said, you already came out with the Xbox One X. Why not just change it to like the Series Z or something? You know what I mean? Like, but to not make it as confusing as it was, because every time you talk about it, you can't just say the Xbox X, which is what everybody would want to say.
Yeah, because
you have the One X before that, and so now you have the Series X. And like I said, they should just keep the project names, please. The project names have been dope. Xbox Scorpio would have been dope.
Yeah,
for the One X.
Yeah,
Xbox Scarlet would have been really good for this one.
Well, we got our Project Scorpio consoles. That was pretty cool, right? Which, by the way, with pre-orders might not be opening up again for the Series X, which makes me think even more that we might get something that says day one. Even when we pre-ordered the very original Don Matrick Xbox One, the controller at least said day one. So, like, the fact that they're not releasing any more pre-orders makes me think that we're going to be seeing something. I don't want to say special, but limited edition-y. Like, if not, I'm dead serious on those Reactive Reload skins. Like, it's going to happen, and we can make them see-through. We can have whatever. I think see-through might be pretty good. Maybe not. Well, maybe two different kinds. We'll see. I'm looking into this shit.
Yeah, I actually still have a Project Scorpio in the box because I bought two of them.
Really?
Yes. So
you aging like a fine wine.
Yes, I left one in the box. It's still in the box. It's put up. It's safe.
Nice.
It's not in a moist area. And
not bad.
This one here that I'm staring at right now that I still play to this day. I know that I'm one of the lucky. Some people had some problems with them, and then they sent them in to get fixed, and they got sent back a regular Xbox One X. But I still got my little Scorpio logo on there.
It's really cool, isn't it? I'm not kidding.
It is. It's not as cool as your Taco Bell one.
Oh, dude, that thing is great, huh? I love it.
Yeah, or it gives you the Taco Bell ding when you.
A lot of people are wearing new ones. Dude, that's it. Like, that is great. Like, what I missed my old Gears of War 1S. Every morning I would wake up, come out to the living room, and turn it on, and you would hear do 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 like every time. Like, and I really liked that sound. It was like a ritual every day. So when I didn't have that, it was all right. But getting the Taco Bell One X, gong every single time, you can't beat that.
It would have been great if they would have brought back the little Chihuahua for that.
Yeah, that would. They missed an opportunity if they didn't. That's a very good point. A lot of people are winning the new Series X right now.
Yeah, they sure are talking about competition. One. No gong this time.
No gong. No. Is that confirmed?
Yeah. Yes, it is confirmed.
Okay, so they're probably going to do the gong in a year from now. I bet we're going to see, like, next year we'll see the new, like, the Series X. It's not a looker, right? It's going to get the fucking job done, though, right? So yeah, so I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more limited edition consoles coming out because no one likes the look of this thing. Nobody is happy with this. Maybe people who used to get those Corsair One desktops.
Yeah, or people who like garbage cans.
Yes, trash cans.
It's like the tiny ones that you have in like your room or the bathroom.
That's right.
It's about the.
So, what happened with you? What's going on with your Series X?
Much. So I got one. I'm one of the lucky ones. I got it from Best Buy.
Congrats.
After an hour and a half, and I was one of the lucky ones to get it back quickly. An hour and a half of straight cleaning. So here's my thing. I texted you. I started off at Walmart. I knew Walmart was probably going to have the biggest inventory and they'd sell out the fastest, right? But my plan is that I could sneak in there. I had everything pre-planned. I found that it was, through multiple checkout practices, I found it was actually faster to check out when you had your information saved on your computer, not signed into your Walmart account, than you did when you were signed into your Walmart account. So that's what I did. So I was ready. I had everything saved onto the browser, ready to go. I had changed the password. and changed it in the browser the night before, right? Because I wanted to make sure that the PayPal password I was using and the Walmart password I was using were the exact same, so I could copy paste and just keep it moving, right?
Yeah.
I've since, for the people that are trying to steal from me out there, I'm sure there are many that you bots out there. They're both now since changed again to other random passwords. But for the time being, that's what I did. So I get in there and I tested. I cannot emphasize this enough. I tested both of them 3 times, both the PayPal and the Walmart 3 times the morning of. Logged in, logged out, boom, 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 right? So I get there. I go to log into Walmart. Password invalid. Okay.
Invalid.
Again, password invalid. So yeah.
What was
so
up with that shit? That was happening to me too.
Reset the password, get a new one, throw it in, boom, I'm in, right? We're talking now, this is like 11 o'clock in 30 seconds. I was on it, right? Like I was quick as hell. Then it's time to check out, right? Got it in the cart, ready to check out. PayPal password invalid. Go in again, PayPal password invalid again.
Good grief.
So luckily, PayPal has a one-time code, so they sent the code to my phone, and then from my phone, I was able to get in. So at 11:01, and my computer at work had the seconds timer, so it was 11:01:32, and it was out of stock by the time I finally got to the checkout. So
Good
that
grief.
minute and a half of Walmart and PayPal absolutely fucking me. Ruined my moment there, my moment to shine. I was gonna get one. I was so ready. I was gonna beat everybody. Like I was on it. Like I had the countdown clock on there. It was ready to go. I was gonna get one.
That's not the first
I was
time
gonna
I've
be one
heard
of the
that
lucky ones
too. Like about
I could feel it in my
shit.
bones.
Oh, you could feel it.
I could feel it in my bones that I was just gonna make out. This was gonna be very quick, and then I could relax the rest of the day, and then my plan was always to help you out if you weren't.
My RNG is terrible. It is hilariously bad.
Just not in the division at the very beginning, but don't tell Hero Hunt that. Now, so like I'm very upset at this point, right? Like I can feel like the rage coming in. Like I'm ready to cuss out PayPal and Walmart, like all them, but like I had work to do still. So that had to be on the back burner. So the feeling of not knowing what to do next. So I went to Target. I spammed Target. Target had this really annoying bug where it would tell you. I'm sure you probably dealt with this too, but Target had a bug where it would tell you that your cart was full, like you had the max quantity.
Oh yeah,
you had nothing in there.
Yep,
and you couldn't actually put it in.
Well, I actually never got to Target, but that happened to me on That happened to me on Microsoft's website, saying you have the max quantity available, and it wouldn't let me. With Target, and with a lot of other people, the pre-order button was like broken. It would let you pre-order, but it wouldn't go anywhere. It wouldn't even load to like another page.
Yeah, I got that one too after a while. But the first one was it would tell you that it put it in your cart and then not put it in your cart. It was basically what was happening. So Target turned out to be a giant flop. And then I was sitting there, right? Because Newegg sold out almost instantly too by the time I got on there. GameStop, I was stuck in a queue. Walmart was gone. Target wasn't working. Best Buy just said coming soon.
for way too long. There's a reason Microsoft went down, because people were like, "Oh, it's not working on Best Buy. Let's just go see what Microsoft and Walmart are up to." Like, and bam,
I gave up on
everything.
I gave up on Amazon the night before the pre-order because I could already see the shit show that was about to be, because it was confusing as fuck to get to the Xbox Series X pre-order screen. And then it turned out that wasn't even the screen that you would order. So like I kind of already had a feeling that they had screwed the pooch on this one. I could tell by like the weird Microsoft shop page that they had set up for the Series X. And I avoided that one completely. By the time Santa Keeley had told us that Amazon was live after about 35 minutes. Or no, it was an hour and 35, right? It was like 12:35 that they went with their inventory. Yeah.
He was helping out too. He was a good guy in the fight.
It was gone. So the one that I had the most luck with was Best Buy. and that was I made this up on the fly. I don't know if this actually helped or not, but it was 10 checkouts to 1 refresh.
Yeah.
So I'd click the checkout button 10 times and then refresh it, F5. That was my process, and eventually it got me through after an hour. So.
Some people actually got through just by waiting patiently. Can you imagine? Can you imagine hearing that? South Korea sold out in a minute, Walmart sold out in a minute. Like, and you're taking a gamble, a chance to wait patiently for the things, those things to work, those processes. If you waited fucking patiently for GameStop, you would have lost out. A lot of people did, because they just kicked you right out of there. Trolls, man. No, but Best Buy was the monkey wrench in this whole thing, and then they screwed everything up for everyone. And bots, Best Buy and bots, like not like, and just 2 different ways. Plus Microsoft playing, love Microsoft, gotta defend it when I can. But how are you going to announce to the world a specific date and time to pre-order this thing and expect there not to be chaos? Like, when your website is going down the night before 3 or 4 times, like, it's going to be a shit show. Like, the one thing that Sony did right, even though the people think their PS5 pre-orders went terribly wrong, like, it was releasing it right off the bat, which I think, without telling anyone except for those, people who signed up to be notified, the lottery winners or whatever. I think that's what all this confusion was about. I don't think it was that they just randomly decided to do it. I think they told the people who won the lottery when they could reserve one, because they had this whole lottery system going on where you would sign up to be notified about it, and those are going to be the people who would get to pre-order it. Like, at all, they didn't even give a hint like it was going to be that they were going to be first in line. They were acting like the people who won the lottery were going to be the people who could pre-order it. But so when that day hit, a couple hours afterwards, we did the last show about the launch and the random ass pre-orders. But when this dust settled, it seemed like it was more of a, like, they were told what was going to happen. They were given a heads up on when they could pre-order it, and then the retailers just didn't really follow through, and they opened them up.
Yeah. And it almost felt like it was a little bit more just that way too, because it really felt like more people than bots got them. Where, like, Microsoft, it's not clear that that's the case yet. I mean, we're still waiting for the dust to settle, but it seems a lot of people feel like a lot of bots got a lot of Xboxes, and a lot of scalpers got a lot of Xboxes, but the average person that actually wants to enjoy the console didn't. And like you said, that was Microsoft's. I mean, 2 things that they really screwed up. One was announcing a date and time a couple weeks before it happened to give everybody time to prepare and set their programs for their little bots and stuff like that. And the other was that their cart, the Microsoft cart, it didn't work. You couldn't purchase it from the actual Microsoft store for a while. So
yeah.
A lot of things went bad. Not probably the launch that they expected, but now that it's over and you and I have one, I have to say that when I did get it, the feeling and the moment of triumph was amazing. Did you have like the same thing?
Not like, well, right out the bat, I was a little thrown off. It took me a day to start feeling like really, really excited about it. Cause like I was getting a sunburn from my monitor, being in front of it for like 6 hours trying to get this thing. So like, I wish I could have gotten it like an hour and a half in. I wouldn't have been like as like bummed out at the time, but I was like starting to like tell myself that, this might not happen, maybe they'll release some more pre-orders. And I got to tell you, when I heard that they weren't going to be really doing pre-orders again until release, I started feeling a lot better about it, the thing actually going through.
Yeah, I bet.
Bounce Alert. That's it. That's the name of the bot. Okay, so Bounce Alert has a Twitter. People keep sharing their carts and their confirmation order emails, and so you got people on Twitter sharing. What is it? They're sharing like 40. Some guy got 42 RTX 3080s. One guy got 16 or whatever, and they're all like, "Thanks, Bounce Alert," and blah blah blah, and all this stuff. Bounce Alert was tried saying that Sony was miscommunicating with the vendors or whatever, and that it wasn't their fault that the RTX 3080 sold out, and in just mere a couple of minutes. Same with the PS5 pre-orders, but like people are sharing these screenshots of like 42 that they just acquired 42 RTX 3080s and saying, thanking Bounce Alerts for this. So that's all a bunch of BS or whatever. But Bounce Alerts, I think there's another one. I can't remember. There's got to be. As soon as we got our Series X's, it started getting dark outside. I searched up eBay, and there was literally about 1,945 at the time, right before the sun went down. A couple days later, that number, oh my gosh, it went up to like 4,000, and they were all marked up Xbox Series X's. Like that was insane. Scalper bots, man, fuck them. Can't stand them. I was impartial to scalpers, because I would really only see them outside of concerts and downtown or whatever. But like this type of scalping is just, man, it is wrong. It is not right. It has nothing to do with supply and demand. They're artificially inflating these prices on their own, separate.
Yeah, and I mean a good way to kind of curb this, because you're going to have a lot, would almost be to send out emails first to people who have like a shit ton of hours played
without
like on their Xbox account.
Really easy to find it out.
Yeah, and so maybe sending them out an email that lets them know.
Yeah,
and then announcing it to the world like shortly thereafter. Oh yeah, by the way, they're out.
That's right.
Everybody else goes crazy.
It's like, hey, Bounce Alerts. Like Microsoft, 11 a.m. You got it, bro.
You'd cut down on a lot of that, I think. So my day, though, that moment of triumph did not last long. I guess this is more. Yeah, so we'll see if this actually makes the final cut on the show or whatever. But like, I need to vent.
Yeah.
So I'm driving home, right? I'm on top of the world. Like I had to work that day, right? So I didn't call off from work because we've been shorthanded and with COVID and stuff like that. I didn't want to really call off. And I luckily my bosses were understanding and they gave me the time I needed to get the series. Because I told them I had this day. Yeah, maybe like up to 2 hours. Don't expect much from me.
Yeah.
And so I'm driving home and I'm top of the world. I'm on the phone with my lovely girlfriend Chelsea, and we're talking, and all of a sudden my tire blows.
Oh God.
Now this isn't that big of a deal, right? I got a spare. Everything's fine. We're good to go, right? So luckily it was a back tire. It wasn't a front tire, so I was able to hold my vehicle very well. I was in the second from the right-hand lane, so it's not like I was super far away from the shoulder either. So I was able to pull off, get on the shoulder. Not a lot of traffic at the time that I drive home. Work around like 7 or so. This is like 7:30, 7:20-ish. Just not a lot of traffic on the roads. I'm on the highway, unfortunately, but I am able to safely pull off to the side. So go to the trunk, jack up my car, go to take the tires off, and I get 2 of them off. 3 of them are on there really tight, and I couldn't break them. Like it was so hard. It took me. I'm so sore still from that, but it probably took me like 2 hours to break those. And one of them, the reason why I couldn't get one of them was because not only was it on there tight as fuck, but it was also stripped. So that was fun. I didn't end up putting it on. So anyway, so I got my car jacked up. It's the right tire, and I'm on the right shoulder. So luckily, I'm away from the highway too, right? So I picked like the good one to get on there. So jack up my car, go to put the donut on, and the donut doesn't fit.
Oh God!
It's the right size tire, but the where the lug nuts go on the rim, the spacing is off by like maybe a couple millimeters. Like it was not much. And I couldn't force it on. And so my car sat on the side of the highway for the night. And luckily, Chelsea picked me up and took me home. And so I go there the next. Yep. So I take my rim with me because I'm like, well, fuck it. At this point, I might as well just get like an actual tire, right? Instead of just going and buying a donut. So I go get an actual tire, come back tomorrow morning, car's still there, everything's good. It's not like marked, like tagged for them to take or anything like that. And I get the tire on. I got new lug nuts too while I was out because I figured out why the hell. I had to replace the two that were stripped, and one of the other ones was kind of getting bad too. And I get the tire on, everything's good. She pulls off. I get in my car, and car doesn't start.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, so
how did that happen?
Really old battery. So my car is 11 years old. It's a 2011. I don't like to upgrade. It's paid off, and so I'm not going to upgrade it. And I only have 114,000 miles. I don't drive
not
it.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, I don't drive it. I take care of it, right? So it's in really good shape. 2011 Chevy Malibu. Love the car. It's fantastic. Good gas mileage, still everything. And so it turns out that the battery is also 9 years old. It's the original AC Delco GM battery that's in there.
Hey, gotta love the originals, right?
Right? Yeah. No, I couldn't believe it because I bought it used maybe 2 years after the car came out at the end of the first lease or whatever. And I thought for sure that it would have been changed out then, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I knew I was kind of on borrowed time. So not a big deal. There's no battery dead enough that you can't jump it to at least get it to where you need it to be, right? So I jump the car. I've got really long jumper cables, thank God. So I go to jump the car. I open up the hood, take the battery cover off, because you have to have those in Michigan. Otherwise, the salt will just fuck everything electrical in your car.
Oh, God, yeah, it will.
And it's leaking battery acid. So there is
fantastic news.
Yes, there is no recharging this battery to get me to point B to swap out a battery. So I then have to go get a new battery and change out my battery on the side of the highway. So I take it was Coca-Cola that I took to neutralize the battery acid. I don't know if you've ever seen car battery acid, but it crystallizes and turns blue.
I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about that yesterday about Coke.
You know what it looks like, battery acid, when it leaks out of your battery. At least it did for the AC Delcos that I had.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the blue dip powder that you had when you were a kid for the candy thing. The candy powdered sugar dip.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looked like the blue one. But so anyway, pour Coke on there and battery gets switched out. We are now good to go. But man, talk about a day ruiner.
God.
I was not happy.
I wouldn't have been happy
at all.
I mean, Jesus, it could have gone a lot worse, though, especially when the tire pops, while you're driving. You said it was on the highway?
Yeah. I was on the side of the highway for 2.5 hours trying to get that tire changed that night, too. So, you're talking, I'm not getting home until 10 o'clock. That's what I texted you. I was like, yeah, I can't record tonight.
I wasn't going to message you too much back because I knew you were dealing with some things going on, to say the least. Yeah. But you did get a big old W at the beginning.
Yeah, that was the only thing that stopped me from just walking out in the middle of traffic.
Yeah.
After I couldn't get once I found out that the bolt was stripped, which becomes quite apparent pretty quickly if you've ever changed a tire and had that happen to you. It was like, dude, what the why? Why does this happen to me? But it's okay. Everything, all is well. Yeah, all is well now.
We're
good to go.
Gonna be even better soon. We cannot say the same thing for about the people who invested into the RTX 3080 right off the bat. It's this is the one time where people they should have just listened. So the RTX 3080's capacitors apparently is where NVIDIA cut corners at. Jay's 2 cents. His last video, he's a big tech guy, just like Linus Tech Tips. They do a lot of stuff together too, very similar. But he basically found out that the capacitors were shit. So now some people have been talking about legal action against NVIDIA for this. This is something I just wanted to bring up here before we close it out. But it is. Man, I was really close to just getting an RTX 3080, but once we saw the leak about the 20 gigabit VRAM, and we still don't know what's going on with the TI because the 3090 isn't the TI. It's just supposed to be something special they wanted to make. I'm still gonna wait for the supers next year. I learned my lesson. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna wait for the new Intel processors to come out. and the new motherboards. So Intel is also skipping PCIe Gen 4, by the way, and they're going to be going straight to PCIe Gen 5, which is probably a good bet. Intel didn't really get off to a good start with this whole with their 10th gen processors and motherboards. Like even the Asus's new motherboards all the manufacturers' motherboards, I don't think they support Gen 4, PCIe Gen 4 this time around. But I think they're going to be getting on that by next year, or at least the end of this year. I don't know too much about it, but basically, Xbox is still coming out on top. Is my point this time around. It was about to be really, really murky waters with the RTX 3080 because that thing is a beast. Same with the 3070, very affordable, especially if people looking at choosing Xbox, Sony, or PC gaming. But I'm glad we got our Series X's.
Yeah, me too. Now, Godspeed to all the Sony people. We'll have pre-order round 2 coming up here soon. Is that tomorrow?
Well, there was GameStop today had their pre-orders, but the only consoles that were available were $750 bundles. Well, at least by the most of the consoles that were available. There were a few digital editions, which those are in very short supply at the moment. Which those still look like a pretty good deal. Like I'm gonna wait until next year when we see some like limited edition consoles coming out. I'm a sucker for those. I really like those, and there's a lot of potential with these things. I'm probably going to get a PS5 controller though to use for the PC because I'm really looking at that controller and just thinking, man, you look good. Like I want to try that out.
Speaking of controllers, one of the other things that went horribly wrong, but it's not as sad because I have the 2, but my beautiful Xbox Elite Series 1 controller is dead.
It kicked the bucket, huh?
The right bumper is gone.
Oh man,
it doesn't work anymore.
Oh, that's
the grips are starting to come apart.
Oh Jesus!
At the seams, it's really weird how it's coming apart. It's not coming apart like normal. It's just like plumped up and annoying.
I'll pick out a plot in the graveyard to lay it next to my Gears of War Elite Series 1 controller. They'll be happy.
I got that the day it released, and here we are now.
Yeah.
It lasted a long time this year.
Dude, my Gears of War Elite controller got wrecked so bad. That was at the heart of Trials Carries in Destiny 1, Destiny at the beginning of Destiny 2. I was getting hit up so much, and the pads fell off. That was like the first thing to go. I had to glue them back on. Like the stick drift, by the way, that I think Microsoft actually sued, or the one guy actually sued Microsoft for stick drift. Thank God it needed to happen, because there's one little shitty thing that Microsoft was doing with their controllers that I'm not seeing with the Cyberpunk controller that I got. It's actually really nice. I'm not having like the triggers sticking or anything like that. I don't have the stick drift. Most games can actually correct that thing with Dead Zone and things like that, but not just Dead Zone. They have like software in game that can fix some of that stuff. But stick drift is literally the most criminal thing that you're going to pay what, $50-$60 for a new controller more if it's an Elite, and you're going to get stick drift. Are you serious? Really?
Yeah.
And the bumpers, like how are you gonna ship Elite controllers out with bumpers that cheap? They were so bad. Like I have to send them back 2 or 3 times.
One of the things that I noticed now that it's kicked the can, because like you want to press it really hard to get it to work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is when you hit that really hard, it also sets off your trigger on my right bumper.
Oh God.
So I was spamming the right bumper in game trying to do something, and I was actually shooting. I was actually playing Overwatch, playing Genji. The right bumper is the deflect button, which is very, very important. And all of a sudden I wasn't deflecting and just getting killed, and it was no bueno.
The internals in the Series 1 are really, really bad. They're cheap, like little white thin pieces of plastic. Yeah. They upgraded it with the Series 2. It's a lot better. The left thumbstick doesn't click in on my Series 2. I've just been using it so much. It still works. It just doesn't click. It's kind of like a silent mash. You just mash in and out. Danny DeVito. It's always sunny.
So anyway, I just start blasting. One of my favorite memes.
Yeah. The memes have been delicious too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That Bethesda deal. Like this is making them mad. Like speaking of that deal, Sony
got to talk about that. This has got to be in.
This Bethesda deal is huge. It is a nuke. Like I $7.5 billion. Like that is, but not only is that chump change to Microsoft, like that is nothing. Microsoft could buy Sony, if they wanted to, if they were willing to selling. Yeah. If they were willing to sell. Ubisoft is also thinking about selling, and Sony is looking at buying Ubisoft, which I think is cute because like those they're a woke match made. That's
woke match made in heaven. Like that's right. Games together.
It is bittersweet with me and Ubisoft, man. I was about to be.
The revolution has no gender.
The revolution has no gender, dude. Their games have been feeling great, and everything was good, but their storytelling, man. If Microsoft bought Ubisoft, they could definitely take out the woke trash without a doubt. But
yeah, they'd be two companies that have the inability to get out of their own way.
Yeah,
if Ubisoft was bought by Sony,
Sony is going to have to respond now because with the Game Pass and with this Bethesda deal, people who like Sony, they are straight up mad. They are heated right now with this deal.
Right.
Hilarious.
You have to be.
Yeah,
I mean, some of the greatest titles ever. Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like they are defining games in gaming history, and they are not going to be on Sony.
Not a lot of people
anymore.
Not a lot of people know about this. So Sony was looking into buying Starfield. That's what set this whole thing in motion. So Bethesda was selling. They've been on the market for a little while now. They were looking for a good buyer, and Microsoft is obviously the perfect match. But things really sped up when people got word that Sony was looking at making Starfield an exclusive for PlayStation. What does Microsoft do? They buy the goddamn everything. And I did not expect Starfield to be announced as an exclusive to Xbox. Like that is nuts.
See your Starfield attempt to buy and raise you the whole company. I just see Phil Spencer as Dr. Evil from Austin Powers with like his pinky in his mouth, and he's just he looking right at Sony.
He did not like exclusive. He was not for that. Like he's been on record, even with the last interview he did with Todd Howard and Major Nelson, and who was the other guy? I can't remember his name. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but anyway, he was basically still not trying to say that all these are going to be exclusives, and it comes from an honest place with Phil Spencer because he was a big Destiny player. He didn't like seeing that people were getting these exotic weapons, these missions, and things like that, like just for a year or 2 years. And then they would come over to Xbox when like the sequel to the game came out. It was like a slap in the face for people who were hardcore gamers on that. Like it wasn't just Destiny; it was a lot of games. So like, and I was with them on that. You shouldn't have to like spend $400 or $500 on a new console just to play like specific games. Like it just that has never made sense to me. Even YouTubers are still saying, well, exclusives sell games. There's no point in buying new consoles. It's like, what if you really just want the best performance and the best looking games on the multiplats, because in the end that's what people are playing, and that made sense to me. But I have a feeling that like a bunch of people sitting at the Xbox roundtable were just like, Phil, we've got to do something. These people won't shut up about exclusives. And man, this answer right here like it huge.
It almost makes me wonder too if it'll be exclusive to Xbox for like a year and then they'll let Sony in on it. You know what I mean? Because I've noticed that trend. I've noticed that trend because they did the same thing with PUBG, where it was initially just only on Xbox, and then later it got released over to Sony. Because, like I said, I do think that, Phil Spencer has been open about the fact that he has a PlayStation and plays it pretty regularly, especially for some of the games the exclusive games that Sony has that he wants to try out.
Same as Mikey Barr and lots of other Xbox.
It's really cool to have Phil Spencer in charge at Xbox because he is a gamer. He's one of us. Like, he's on until 3:00 in the morning grinding Destiny.
Yes,
like he's one of us.
He is absolutely one of us. And no question.
My theory on the reason why Bethesda is looking to sell is I don't really think Bethesda. I know that they've been looking to sell for a little while, but I don't really think that they need the money.
No.
If anything, I think this whole COVID thing has set them back really far, and Bethesda's already a company that does not release games very regularly.
Right.
We're still waiting 9 years for another Elder Scrolls. That's still a couple years away. Starfield's been rumored about for 10 years now, 12 years now, right?
Yes.
So they take their time when they make games, and I wonder if things got off track. And they're very famous for only working on one game at a time.
Oh yeah,
like where they put like a vast majority of the resources into one game, have very little resources, kind of just working through the other titles that they have planned to kind of just lay some of the ground.
How has nothing leaked with Starfield?
Yeah, dude, and they've always been tight though. Like they've always been able to crank that spigot like closed. If you get anything, you've gotten a lot from Bethesda.
Yeah, I would love to know the process and like how they go about managing their time and like when they're like working a lot on certain things. But plus them being quiet gives them the freedom. If there's a period of time where they're not working on anything, whether it be to emergencies like COVID, whether it be to holidays and things like that, we don't need to know like their workflow, because that would get pretty toxic real quick. People are like, well, maybe you guys should stop doing this or whatever. But like us not knowing anything, we don't know when they're working hard, when they're not. We just assume that they always are, and they're always going to be putting out, for the most part, Fallout 76 excluded, great games.
Well, I mean, to be fair to them too, this was the first time that they've jumped into the multiplayer arena too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this is not what they do. They jumped way outside their comfort zone. And so I don't really like knocking them for Fallout 76, even though I know that it's fair, just because like I would like to see them be more adventurous with the games that they release. So, that's why I've acknowledged that Fallout 76 is not very good, but I don't really like talking about it because like I want them to be encouraged to go outside their comfort zone.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
But what I was saying is that I wonder if like this influx of cash is really to get a lot of these projects back on the rails.
They did say it was for money.
A lot of resources into a whole bunch of their titles that they've probably fallen behind on because of COVID. Especially probably Starfield. And I'm hoping this is me. This is just I don't have anything on this, no rumors, nothing. This is just me. I am hoping that this speeds up the Elder Scrolls release as well. Because man, 9 years is a really long time. I just want another one.
I think we part of the reason it hasn't come out yet is due to things like obviously COVID. I'm sure has something to do with it, but I think it has more to do with like they wanted to make sure they were in the right hands first. I think they were going to be finalizing it after any kind of a deal went through.
Yeah, and Microsoft has already said that they're pretty much going to just let them do their thing.
Yep.
That they're going to be pretty hands off when it comes to, which is good, which is what EA needs to take a cue from with the little developers that they have, because the only time EA makes a good game is when they hate the game that's coming out. See Titanfall, see Apex Legend.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 really went off the rails when went over to PlayStation. A lot of people didn't think it was that special after that. It had a lot to do with why not a lot of people were talking about it. It still has a pretty big multiplayer base, but as far as exclusives go, Phil Spencer, Xbox, they have said it's going to be a case by case basis. But these certain games like Elder Scrolls, Starfield, maybe Doom, I'm not sure, but like there are some games that will just that will Doom, only be on Xbox. Yeah, so that's I'm definitely going to be playing that. It's going to be kind of fun to pick that up.
Yes.
Looks like we're going to have to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for coming. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more. Hope you liked it. You can follow the show at Reactive Reload on Twitter. You can follow me at The Irish Cowboy, No Take Backsies, and Crossover at Reactive Brandon. You guys have a good day, night, whatever the hell time it is you're watching this. We fucking love you.